We're here with the new head coach of the Utah Jazz, Will Hardy. Hello, Coach. Welcome to Utah.
How you doing? Thank you.
This is really exciting.
Thank you.
Tell me where you were and what was happening when you get the call, or how it happened that you're going to be the new Utah Jazz coach.
I was at home here in Boston in our apartment. Our two little girls had gone down for a nap, so it was just my wife and I had just sat down on the couch just to kind of relaxed for a few minutes and was chatting with her, and the phone rang and it said Danny Ainge on it, and my heart rate went through the roof because I knew this was either going to be the beginning or it was going to be the end of the process. And so I took it and I kind of just started pacing out into the hall while I was on the phone, and Danny told me that they were going to offer me the position. And I just kind of came back around the corner, and my wife was sitting on the couch looking like, what's going on? And I gave her the thumbs up and nodded my head. So it was really cool. Kind of came out of nowhere in terms of, like, I didn't know exactly when they were going to call or when they were going to make their decision. I knew it was going to be over the period of a couple days. And so it was neat. Got to talk to Danny and discuss how excited I was with him, and talk to Ryan and Justin and Dwayne, and then I was told, if there's anybody that you want to tell from you should do it quickly because, in the NBA, secrets are hard to keep, and it's going to be on social media soon. So, I got to call my mom and tell her, which was great, and my brothers, a couple very close friends. I got to call Ime and Brad in Boston, and got to call Coach Pop. So I was able to go down, kind of the top priority people in my life and tell them what was going on. And then all of a sudden my phone just started buzzing over and over and over again. So I asked my wife, I was like, is it out? And she looked on Twitter and was like, yeah, it's out. So my phone, I don't think, has stopped buzzing for a couple of days. All good stuff, a lot of congratulations, and some really touching messages from people who've been a part of this journey. So the last 48 hours has definitely been a whirlwind.
I'm just trying to imagine you go from coaching in the NBA Finals to interviewing for this job to getting the job. What's the last week or so been like for you? Just chaos?
It's been a whirlwind. I think when the season ends, especially when you go on a long run like that, it takes about a day, and then the adrenaline wears off and you kind of realize how tired you actually are. And so, I'd been already in talks with Utah. I had done one interview already. And so I needed to shift my brain, and my energy to that because I was really excited about the opportunity. But it was hard. It was hard to kind of shut the door on the season and kind of try to block out some of the disappointment of how it ended, and move straight into the rest of the interview process. But I'm lucky because Danny and Justin, they were so good throughout the process of understanding that we were in the middle of, the finals, and how important that was to me and to us in Boston. They really didn't, hold me to too tight of a schedule, or we need to talk to you on this day. They were really gracious to work with me through that. So yeah, it's been wild to go from that, the disappointment at the end, and then now just the excitement of this new journey, new challenge. It's been awesome.
One of my favorite song lyrics is "Age ain't nothing but a number." So let's get that part out of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
So, all the headlines, it's like 34 years old, 34 years old.
Right.
What factor do you think your age plays in being a head coach in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I am who I am. Like, I don't try to hide from my age. Like, it's true, I am 34. But I've been lucky to have 12 years in the NBA. I feel like I've been able to learn from a lot of good people. I think throughout the process, like, I really tried to meet that head on and be like, you're right, I've never been a head coach, and you're right, I am 34, but I think there's some strength in that too. Like, I'm not a finished product. I'm not, quote unquote, stuck in my ways, or Ryan and Danny and Dwayne and Justin, like they made it clear, like they want a partner in this and somebody that they can grow together with. And I think I can do that. I think I'm going to bring a lot of energy to this. This job demands a lot of energy, not just the technical basketball part on the court, but the people part and, connecting all the groups in our building and being with our players, not only on the court, but away from the court and trying to establish those relationships. So, and Ryan was so good when I got the job. It's actually, one of the biggest things he told me afterwards outside of congratulations was like, don't apologize for your age. I think he really empowered me to just say, like, we hired you to be you. You don't have to act one day older than you are. You don't have to pretend that you're anybody that you're not. You're 34, you've got 2 young kids. And we're really excited to have you. So I think that message from him was super empowering, that to them it doesn't matter. And those are the people that I'm doing this with, and those are the people whose opinions matter to me.
Your journey, you talk about your journey and the people who have believed in you, and
Right.
it tells me that people believed in you from a very early age. Tell me about driving to Houston. You get out of college and you're trying to get your first job. What was your first job in basketball to now being an NBA head coach?
Yeah, my first job, I was an intern for R.C. Buford in San Antonio. So it's part of the story that isn't talked about much is I came into San Antonio actually on the front office side. But I played Division III basketball in college, so I had just finished playing. I was 22. And so they asked me to help out on the court. The staffs were a lot smaller then, so it was more, much more of a support role. I was rebounding and setting screens and playing dummy defense, like I describe it as I was sort of like a punching bag on the court. But it was great. Like I'm out on the court with Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker. I'm like, what is going on right now? And so I spent that first year helping on the court in the mornings and then learning from RC and Dennis and Danny and their group in the afternoons. So it was such a fun year because I got a really unique experience in the NBA. I was kind of on both sides, if that makes sense.
So you move from being an intern in the front office and then you get an internship as the video guy. But this is during the height of the great Spurs years. And
Right.
so what makes them hire you now as an assistant coach? How do you make that leap?
I really think that there was a lot of good fortune with timing too. Like I think I worked hard and I tried to be a good person. But I also know that there's, in this business, timing is a big part of it too. Like I was lucky to be able to kind of grow organically within the organization because people above me left and they got great jobs elsewhere. We all benefited from the success of the team in that era. So our video coordinator left when I was the assistant video coordinator, and I became the video coordinator for 3 years. And I was the video coordinator, and Chad Forcier took a job with the Orlando Magic, and I was in the grocery store in the summer and got a phone call from Pop that, in typical Pop fashion, he just said, "Congratulations, you're an assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs. RC will get with you on Monday about your contract," and he hung up. So I was kind of dumbfounded. I called my wife and said, I'm pretty sure I just became a coach, but Pop didn't really say much. I got to try to figure out the details. So yeah, I'm not really sure why. I think there was a lot of familiarity. I'd been in the organization 6 years at that point. So there was a lot of, personal capital built up with all the people there. And so I was, over the moon to get that opportunity. Because again, when I came in that first year as an intern in the front office and I'm reffing open gym and rebounding, like if you had told me, hey, 6 years from now you're going to be on Pop's coaching staff, I would have told you you're out of your mind.
So you've had to have impressed people along the way. Like that's how that works, is if you're not impressive in those roles, you don't keep moving up. What do you think it is about you? What are some of your qualities that you think have been impressive to people?
I really just tried to do the job I had. I was fortunate, again, to have a lot of people, a lot of the coaches in San Antonio, not just Pop, the assistants, take time to teach me about the league and teach me habits of how to be a coach. And I think, I've never really tried to cut corners on those habits. I've tried to be the same no matter if I was the video intern or I was an assistant coach. Like, I didn't really start coming to work a lot later or leaving a lot earlier. I really just tried to stay committed to those habits that I learned, when I was an intern in San Antonio. I think I've got a good sense of humor. I'm able to make fun of myself. That was a big deal in San Antonio with Pop was, you got to be able to get over yourself. So I'm able to laugh at myself and just kind of, adapt to what's going on around me. I'm competitive. I can get emotional and I can be mad. But I think, San Antonio, I'm just lucky I was given a foundation by them because all those people, Pop, the assistants, RC, like, they taught me the foundation of what it means to be a coach and to be just a professional in this business.
So now you turn the page. So day one, Utah, you're coming to Utah soon.
Yeah.
What's the agenda? What's the order of here's how my tenure is going to start and go?
Yeah, I think the first thing I need to do is I need to spend time with our guys. Something we talked about in the interview is like, you're coaching people. You're not just coaching players. And everybody's a little different. Everybody's personalities are a little different. What makes them tick. And I also want to humanize myself to them. I think, again, this year really opened my eyes, with a younger head coach and a first-time head coach. Like, we came in sort of on the same level as the players. Like, we never made it feel like we're above you and we're, going to just be here to point out all the stuff you do wrong. We're trying to get it right together. And I think a lot of that starts with the personal piece. Like, I want to spend time with them and I want them to get to know me, like the person, not just the coach. They're going to hear me a ton. But I want to try to build some of that, that personal capital with them. So that when it comes time to coach them hard about basketball, they know it's not personal. It's not, I don't like them as people or I don't care about their families or it's not that. And so number one is spending time with them and spending time with the staff. Again, I just think there's such a human element to this league that isn't talked about enough. We spend a million hours together during the year on planes and buses and landing at 3 a.m. in Cleveland. And, there's just so much time together that people don't see. I think those personal relationships are really, really important. And that's before we get to the basketball part.
Yeah, all the research and things that I've read or heard about you, people have used this word connector, that you're a good connector. Why do you think you are, and what does that mean to you?
Again, I think, number one, I'm the first person to say, like, I love people. I don't like being alone. I enjoy getting to know people. I enjoy spending time with people. I enjoy going out to eat with people. That's fun for me. And again, I just try to take like an honest interest in who the guys are and what's important to them. I think before we can talk about what's important to the team and how you're going to impact the team and help our team, it's like, what's important to you? Because, they have things on their mind too. Like, they have family to take care of, and there is a business element to this league. I think secondly, like, I try not to overuse my voice. I don't think that I need to coach you personally every day. Like, some days, like, and some days you just need, like, somebody to come up and put an arm around you and be like, hey, it's gonna be all right. Or, hey, what'd you have for dinner last night? I just think trying to maintain the human part as we go throughout this. And then when you have to use the voice for basketball, your voice isn't numb on them. Like I said, it's a long season, and there's a lot of time the head coach is with the team and in front of the team and talking to the team. And so I really just try not to overuse my voice. So then when I do have to use it, they're receptive or more willing to listen. It's not more like an eye roll, like, here he goes again.
Right. The season's a grind. You don't have to be, I think is what I'm hearing. I like that. Have you given much thought to what style or what's kind of your innate style that you like offensively?
Offensively, one, I'd like us to play a little faster. I want us to be in great shape. I think over the course of a season, especially you get into the playoffs, like it shows the teams that are really, really in great shape. And I think getting out and playing a little bit faster, you just can generate some easy baskets. Like I have no doubt that this team can put the ball in the basket. We'll play with space. We'll shoot threes. We'll try to vary our style between pick and roll and off ball a little bit. But I think, getting out and playing with some pace would be great for our group. Let's get out and get some easy ones.
Okay. When do you anticipate getting your whole staff put together? What's that going to look like?
We're working on that now. I think we're getting pretty close. And that process is tough because there's so many good coaches. And over 12 years, I've developed a lot of really good relationships around the league. You just want to make sure that you have the right recipe. There's so many different styles of coaching and personalities, and I don't need 9 people that are like me, and I don't need 9 people that are the opposite of me. We need to have a good mix that we can approach the team with. But, I'm really looking for energy. I'm looking for guys that want to get on the court, build a little sweat equity with our guys. I think, we want our gym to be very lively when we're at the practice facility.
Okay, when do you get to Utah? When do you start working guys out? What's the next couple of weeks look like for you?
Well, I'm going to go see some of these guys individually, and then I'm going to be at the Utah Summer League. I think it's a good opportunity to see some of our young players play and to connect with the staff. Get to see Salt Lake, do a little family investigation, try to figure some of that stuff out, and then I'll head to Vegas for Summer League. Some of the veteran guys will be there to work out, so it'll be good to get on the court with them for a couple of days. And again, just continuing to try to build those relationships with the players and with the staff. At some point, I'll have to come back to Boston and collect our things. But yeah, my wife's going to come out during Salt Lake Summer League a little bit and take a look around and get a feel for the city. So yeah, the summer's going to be fluid. But yeah, I'm heading to Salt Lake in 3 days.
Okay, so let me wrap up about your family. Your wife's sitting there on the couch when you get the call. What's this like now for you to be a new head coach in the NBA and have this young family now that you're bringing to Utah with you?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm lucky. My wife, she sees it as an adventure. She doesn't see it as a nuisance. She doesn't complain. She's sacrificed so much to allow me to get here. She holds down the fort always, and between the NBA and the opportunities that I've had with USA Basketball, that's a lot of time away, and she's really allowed me to go for it. She's as big a part of me sitting here as anything that I've done. And so I just want to get them settled. We've got a 3-year-old, and I want to get her in school. She's dying to go to school. So I'm really excited. I've heard nothing but great things about Salt Lake as a city, especially for a young family. So, it's nerve-wracking right now just because there's a lot of things up in the air, but, the Jazz have made an incredible first impression on my wife in terms of their outreach to her. They go around me and talk directly to her about, what she and the girls need and, what she's looking for in terms of schools and doctors. And, we're lucky. The organization is far deeper than just X's and O's on the court and coaches and weight room. And, there's a whole group of people that are keeping us organized and, freeing us up to do our jobs on the court by making sure that our families are taken care of.
All right, anything else that you feel like we've missed that you're like, Holly, you need to know this about me?
No, I think you touched on it all. I'm really excited about getting out to Utah and getting to know everybody and everybody getting to know me and my family. It's exciting, really exciting.
Welcome to Utah.
Thank you.